Welcome to your practice. Let's take a comfortable seat to start with some breathing. Oh, breathing feels good, especially this time of year. Gotta move the air still. Breathe deep in the lungs. You're gonna breathe in and out through your nose. And just take a couple deep breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. Last one, in and out. Good. Let's just move our rib cage forward and back a couple times. Rib cage moves forward and back a couple times. Just breathe gentle as you do this. A little bit of motion in your joints. Okay, come back to center. Let's do a couple more breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. Let's move our ribs side to side. Just breathe nice and soft, nice and gentle. It's difficult to move your ribs side to side. It means you're not sitting up high enough. Rib cage side to side. Okay, this time you're going to inhale. You're going to fill up your belly and lift your chest. So inhale, belly and chest. And exhale, chest and belly. Inhale from the belly to the chest. Exhale from the chest to the belly. Inhale, belly to chest. Exhale, chest to belly. Last one, belly, chest. And out breath, chest to belly. Goes just a little bit of twisting. So just turn opposite hand to knee, opposite hand to knee. A little bit of push with the hand, back and forth, just to get the muscles loose. Don't linger in the stretch too long. Just trying to get a little bit of fluidity, limbering up the muscles. Back and forth 2 more times, just back and forth, not too tight. A little bit of push with that opposite hand. Good. 1 more time, let's just lift our chest up. Lift our throat up this time with it. Good, chest down, chin down. Do it 1 more time, chest up, chin up. Chest down, chin down. Good, 1 more round of breathing. Inhale, belly and chest. Lift up through your spine. Keep your spine lifted. Exhale, chest and belly. Stay upright. Inhale, belly and chest. Exhale, chest and belly. Last one, belly, chest. And then chest and belly. Good. Neck tilt. So you're going to put the hand on the head. Let's go to one side. You'll go to your left. You take your other hand out to the side below your shoulder. And turn the thumb back. And turn the thumb in and down. Your hand should be lower than mine. I'm just showing you in the camera. Thumb is down. Let's turn that thumb up again. Turn that thumb down again. All right, let's go to the other side. You're going to put the hand on the head, take it to the side. Thumb is going to turn out, palm is up. Breathing. Thumb turns down and back. Breathing. Rotate. Rotate. 1 more time, rotate. Last round. Good. All right. Let's do some shoulder rolls, alternating. And both shoulders up and down at the same time. Okay. Let's let the head hang, do a half crescent to one side, half crescent to the other side. Nice and slow, breathe smooth. Half crescent. Be careful with this one, Billy. Half crescent. Half crescent. Good. Let's come back up. Excellent work. Okay, let's come back to our mats now. Tabletop, hands and knees. Tabletop, hands and knees. Pressing down firmly through our palms. Hanging our spine. We're just going to rock our spine, our ribs side to side again. Trying to open up. Nice steady pace. Loosen the body up. We did some deep breathing to kind of limber up our body. We're going to rock side to side and do that deep breathing again. Inhale, bellies and chest. Back and forth. Exhale, chest to belly. Inhale, belly, chest. Exhale, chest to belly. Let's warm the body up. A couple breaths. You're going to place your hands on the mat. We do a couple push-ups, kneeling push-ups. So walk your knees back. We're going to do 1 and press up. 2, press up. 3, press up. Last one. 4, press up. And then sit your hips back, child's pose. Okay, the key for SI joint, since we've been talking about the SI joint, that we don't sit too far back. Often, a lot of SI joint pain is from having the hips overstretched in the back. Too much sitting, too much lengthening. And so when you keep your hips up a little bit and tuck your toes in your child's pose, keep your hips up and tuck your toes. This will keep some tone in the low back SI joint area. Let's come forward, do 3 more push-ups on the knees. Inhale, and exhale down. You can push back a little bit, and then we come forward, down. Good. Be careful, Billy, if these are too much. You might do them on the marble type countertop there. Down, number 3. We got 1 more in us. Shift back. Nice and warmed up. Lower down. Good. Tuck your toes. Push your hips back. Don't really think about hips down. Think about hips back. This is better for the SI joint. And keep your chest and head off the ground here. So it's more like a tabletop that's shifted backwards rather than a child's pose. Good. Let's come all the way down to our belly muscles. Belly. Yep. Resting on our belly. Okay, part of that SI joint, or open the hips, actually to tone the hips. You're going to lift up, point your toes here, and you just gently hover your feet just 1 inch off the ground as you lift your chest and lift your crown. And let's go down again. And do that 3 more times. Lift the toes 1 inch, lift the chest and crown. And down. You can feel the glute muscles squeezing into the center of your pelvis, the tailbone. Inhale, lift up. And down. Muscles wrap into the center, back of the hips. Inhale, lift up. Good. Rest yourself for a second. Then a really nice warm-up. A good better rhythm. Let's now try to rest our nervous system here. Just breathe a few breaths. Slower and deeper. Another set of cobras here. Here we go. Hands back on the mat. We're going to gently hover the legs today to create a tone in our low back and our glutes as we lift up cobra. and then down. So just a gentle lifting of the legs to tone the low back. Make sure we're toning there. Lift up and down. Last one, lift up. Good. You're going to turn your head to the other side. Rest a few breaths. Breathe deep into your body. Good. Tuck your toes. We're going to press ourselves up and back. We're going to come up to a kneeling posture. Hips above your knees. Kneeling posture. Hips above your knees. You're going to tuck the toes there. It's going to help keep the SI joint toned. You're going to tone your body, grabbing with the big toe. The big toe is grabbing on the mat a little bit. Lift our chest up, hands on our hips. Open here. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades back. For those who don't know what the SI joint is, if you take your thumbs to the back of your hips, and you'll find there's like a little protrusion, that's the back of your hip bones, and there's like a little indentation just inside those protrusions of your hip bone. And if you go down, that's where the SI joint is. It goes down. It brings there's two, they're called the iliacs. They're like two curved cups, and then there's a downward facing triangle pace. That's called the sacrum, SI, sacral iliac. It's where those two joints meet each other. Your pelvis is like three big bones, basically. It's where those outer bones meet the center one in a triangle. So you can press on that and lift your chest up. Let's lower back down, tabletop pose. Keep those toes tucked and sit back. Now let's open our chest. Try to lift the backs of your legs and lift your chest up. Breathe here. Nice cow-shaped posture, really melting our spine, toning that low back. That's one of the keys to our SI joint safety. It's a tone, low back, and glutes. Some more breaths. Good. Now stretch the right leg back so the toe is on the ground, but the leg is straight. And you're pushing with that toe. That's going to help tone the SI joint. And you're going to reach out the left hand. We're going to breathe here. Hold it. You're going to keep your spine melting so that low back is in. Good. Let's replace that. You're going to step your left toe back. You're going to curl that toe under so you're pressing like you're trying to start a match with your left big toe. So tone the leg. You're going to reach out the right hand in opposition. Good. Let's come back. Lower back down onto our bellies again. All right, it's going to be very modest. You can do Sphinx arms, or even put your Sphinx arms a little bit out in front today. Elbows in front of shoulders, so it's not as much on your low back. You will point your toes this time. So there's the counter arrangement to having the big toe tucked. And we're going to just pulse our legs. So tone your legs so they're straight. We're going to pulse our legs up and then back down. This is going to help tone the SI joint. Up and back down. We're going to do two more like that. Try to keep the legs straight. Don't just bend your knees. You're lifting from your hip, from your thigh. Up and back down. Good. Let's do another set of those. Here we go. 4 in a row. Tone the legs. Lift the whole leg. Up and down. Up. Down. No bending of the knees. I'm watching. Up and down. Last round. up, and relax it. Very good. Okay, this time you're gonna bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. No. Bend your knees so it's like your feet are flat on the ceiling, right? Your feet are, soles of your feet are pointing up. And you're gonna put your hands all the way out. So the palms are down, my arms are straight. Okay, so you're even less lift in your chest. We're gonna try to lift our knees off the ground. Breathe here. And relax it. Good. Do another round like that. So bend your knees, like your feet, the soles of your feet point to the ceiling. And you're gonna try to lift up so your knees come off the ground. Breathe. And relax it. Got one more in us. Here we go. Lift. And lift again. Breathe. Good. Let's go ahead now. Press back into our downward facing dog after that hamstring toning exercise. Going back down to tabletop pose. Feel the muscles from the back of your hip, the sides of your hips, lifting up into the center back of your hips. That's how you protect the SI joint. Okay, this time you're going to keep your knee bent and lift your left leg up. So it's like you're trying to stomp on the ceiling. We're gonna do 4 leg lifts. You're gonna lift like you're stomping on the ceiling. 1, 2, keep the knee bent. 3, 4. And lower that down. Change sides. Keep the legs toned. Tuck the other toe, the toe that's on the ground. Stomp the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. Let's place that back down. Sit your hips back. You can just do a regular child's pose if you want, but if we're working on the SI joint today, you're going to open your knees, tuck your toes, and send your hips back rather than down. Okay, next round, tabletop, same exercise, a little more advanced. You can do the same version we just did. Left leg up, right hand out on the floor in front of you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We do more than 4. 4. We do 6, 5, 6, and back down. Place the hands back. Lift up the right leg. Knee is bent. Foot is pushing towards the ceiling. Put your left hand fingertips out on the floor in front of you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. My pace. 5 and 6. Good. Keep your toes tucked. Lift your tailbone up. Downward facing dog. It's kind of like crouching cat. If you remember that from years younger. Breathe, folks. Good. Coming back down to our knees. Let's lift our bodies up and step. Go ahead and step your left foot forward and wide to the edge of the mat. Forward and wide. And put your hands down inside the front leg. From here, you're going to tuck your back toes. Let's lift our back thigh. Knee off the ground. 4, We'll hold this lunge. Breathe here. Now shoot your left hand straight out in front of you, not up, out in front. Breathe here. So the left foot is in front, the left hand is out in front. Nice calf stretch in the back leg perhaps. Good, let's lower that back down. Let's change our sides. Move the hands over, put the other foot in front. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Right hand in front. Breathe. Down, let's step it back. Downward facing dog pose. Nice and wide with our legs. As wide as our yoga mat. Good. Come on up to standing posture. Let's just review what we've been working on. So you're going to put your hands, you can feel the crest. It's called the iliac crest. You can feel the sides of your hips. There's a bony protrusion in the front. And if you follow your thumb, you'll find a bony protrusion on the back of your hips, right where your hips meet your low back. And if you go just in, there will be an indentation. You'll slide your hands down that indentation, and there's a ridge there, a valley. That is called the SI joint. It fuses the outer hip bones to the inner hip bone, the sacrum. SI joint pain is from that usually being overstretched in the back, which is why we're toning our glutes. Here we go. Send the hands out in front. Shift your hips back as you sit down, chair pose. We're going to do 3 of those. Exhale, come up. Inhale, sit down and back. Exhale, come up. Inhale, sit down and back. Deep breathing with me. Exhale, up. Inhale, down and back. Evolving it. Exhale, up to tippy toe. Sit down and back. Inhale. 2 more like that. Exhale, tippy toe. Down and back. Exhale, tippy toe. And rest. Good. Turn the palms out. Squeeze the shoulders back. Press down through the 4 corners of your foot and straighten your legs. Good. Go ahead, step your right foot back 45 degrees. Swoop the arms forward and up, warrior 1 posture. Good. Push down through the 4 corners of both feet. Breathe in our warrior 1. Long, slow breath. Stay with me. Good. Step back to mountain pose. Tone your legs. Push through the 4 corners of your feet. And squeeze the arms and shoulders back slightly. Part of SI joint pain is also to make sure we're lifting our spine up. That's why we're working on this mountain and warrior. lift our spine up and out so we're not creating compression on our low back by using our mid and upper back muscles to support ourselves. So basically sitting is the enemy of your SI joint. Step your left foot back, warrior one. Press through the four corners of your feet and lift through your spine. Breathe deep, friends. In and out through the nose. Good. Step it on forward again. Excellent. Take your feet. Make your outer feet parallel. You're going to go as wide as your mat. Billy, you might go to the marble countertop edge there. If you want to have blocks, you can. We're going to concentrate, though, on using our core to stay engaged. Okay, legs straight, friends. Legs straight. Do the best you can. Level one, we'll all do that together. You're going to just slide the hands down the front of your legs. Legs are straight. Back is straight. This might be a humbling forward fold for many of us because we're being honest with ourselves. You don't have to go far. Feet are flat on the floor. Keep the four corners of your feet pressing down. Don't round your back. Breathe here. Inhale, come back up. Good. So level, if you that felt okay and safe on your back, you're worried about your back, do the exact same thing again. Hands connected to the thighs or the front of the legs. The next level is just let your arms hang like a rack. Actually, no, next level is do hands in prayer. Hands in prayer. We do the same thing. Legs straight, spine straight. Press through the four corners of your feet. I get about almost halfway, and then I need to really check in and breathe and listen to my body. We don't want to push. We don't want to round our back in effort. If there's strain, if there's stretch in the leg, it should be all through the back of the hamstring. Not in the knee, not in the hip, but the whole hamstring. That's the upper back of your leg. Good. Inhale, come back up. Okay, you choose. You're going to do the same thing. Level one, hands on thighs. Level two, hands in prayer. Or level three, you're going to do arms extended out. Listen, you're doing a whole other thing if you got your arms out. Your sense of body weight, center of body weight is totally different. Here we go. Nice and slow. Legs are straight today, friends. Less is more. Good. Come back up. Excellent work. Support your low back. Put your hands right at the top of the SI joints. Right at the top of the SI joint. You can give yourself a little massage there if you want. And we'll make some hip circles. Reverse. Doing great. Good job following the instructions so far, these details. All right, let's do our horse stance now. Nice early horse stance for this kind of class, SI joint. Your feet are going to be turned out 45 degrees. You can straighten the legs and be like, oh, this is nice, I like this. Or you can bend your knees and debate that you don't like this. Now press your feet down and pull the pinky edge side of the foot back. They don't move, you just think. pinky edge side of the foot draws back. This will tone the SI, support the glutes into the hips. Excellent. Straighten the legs. Good. Again. This time you're going to interlock your fingers and you're going to reach them into the sky. Here we go. Sit down, chair, or sorry, what's this called? Horse stance. Draw the pinky edge side of the foot back toward the heel. Good. Release the hands and straighten your legs. Horse stance number 3. Interlock the fingers, reach them up. Here we go. Breathe. Keep your spine nice and upright. If you can check in the camera, is your head above your hips or are you leaning forward? Good. Let's pivot our outer feet. Let's pivot our heels out so our outer feet are parallel. I knew I wanted to talk about the outer feet. I just didn't want to say that at the wrong cue there. Good. Open our chest to the sky and spread your arms nice and bright. Open the chest muscles here. Try to peel the chest open by peeling the fingertips back. Throat open. Celebrate your breath. 2 more like this. Fill up the breath. Good. Bow forward. You put your hand. Oh, I've got a coffee table today. I'm gonna put my hands on the coffee table. You can put your hands on blocks. All right. You're going to take your left hand. You're going to support the sacrum. That is the center of the back hips. The back of your hips. This very center. Okay. You put your hand right over that, and now turn your shoulder up. Now what's going to happen is that left hip's going to want to lift. Try to keep the hips level. Good. Let's replace the other hand and swap the hands. Support your low back. Support the SI joint by resting your hand on the sacrum. That's the center plate of your back hips. And turn your shoulders. Back to center. Bend your knees. You're going to walk your hands to the front of your yoga mat and press yourself back, downward facing dog. Come forward to your knees and then lower down onto your chest so your tush is stuck up in the air, and then your chin. It's called 8 points pose, 8 points of contact with the earth. Feet, knees, hands, chin, and chest. That's 8. Good. Flatten it out and scoop yourself up. Cobra pose. Put your hands out. Lift your legs up. Locust pose. Breathe. Good. Take your right arm under you. Hold your left foot with your left hand. You're going to do a thigh stretch. Release the front of your thigh out through the knee. Go ahead and change out your legs, other side. From the front of your thigh, reach it out through the knee. Good. Stretch your right leg straight back. You're going to take your left knee up and to the side. It's like a G.I. Joe pose, we call it sometimes. So your thigh is parallel with the front edge of your mat. And then you can lower down all the way down to your forehead if you can. Flex your left foot like you were stepping on a ladder or on a step, toning the hip. Good. Go ahead, take that left leg back, straighten it out, point the toe, and take the right leg up, G.I. Joe pose. You can flex the foot. You want to flex the foot to tone the hips. Go ahead, send that leg back. Let's press up Cobra, and then downward facing dog. Okay, not too long. Downward dog kind of undoes some of our SI joint work. Let's come up to standing. That's our warrior 2 time. So you're gonna step left foot forward, right leg back. For our SI joint today, actually, you will close your warrior 2 just a little bit. So normally we're 90 degrees, and our warrior 1 is 45. Let's think that our warrior 2 is 60 degrees with the back foot, okay? Bend the front knee and press through the 4 corners of both feet. You can actually kind of squeeze your hips. Squeeze. I'm going to show my butt to the camera. You're going to use your fists. You're going to use your fists, okay, or your thumbs. Your fists or your thumbs. And in your warrior 2, you're going to hold the sides of your hip. You're actually going to squeeze in. You're going to move the flesh towards the center of the hips. This should feel really good on your SI joint. Very, very stabilizing. You're encouraging the muscle to tone and support the hips. Just a little bit of a squeeze there to support your SI. We're still open in a warrior 2. Now see if you can let go with your hands and still keep that support. And if you can, you open your arms out, warrior 2. Good, breathe. SI joint pain is all about getting the glute muscles to tone fully and evenly. Usually sometimes one gets tight or they're both weak, they're not firing. It's the first place you look when you have SI joint pain. All right, straighten the leg. Let's go triangle pose. Triangle pose. Push your hips down through your front foot. Look up through the top fingers. Inhale, come up. Let's step out of our posture. Nice work. Nice work. We're going to take our right foot forward and our left foot back. My teacher used to call this the sacrum sandwich, where you take your hands, your fists, your thumbs, whatever. Oh, wait, remember, our warrior 2 is a little bit closed today, about 60 degrees, not 90. And you use the upper glute muscles and you squeeze them toward the sacrum, toward the inner midline of the back hip. Okay, so you should feel, it should feel nice, very supportive. Once you have that, you keep that and maybe open the arms out. Go ahead and straighten the front leg. Push your hip down through your front foot. Triangle pose. Breathing. Inhale up and step out of our posture. Good, mountain pose. Press through the feet, the four corners of the foot, and straighten your legs. Lift up through your spine. Okay, you have your blocks. You're going to put your blocks, or again, you probably use a coffee table ledge. You'll put your blocks in front of your toes on a high setting. Make a triangle so your right foot is in the middle with the blocks in a triangle pattern. You're going to step your left toes back, and you're going to bend your right knee so your hands can be on the blocks. Okay, make sure your right knee, that there's not pressure on your knee. You can push from your core down through your right thigh, down into the four corners of your foot. And then from there, lift your left leg straight up and then touch it back down. We're gonna do 3 more of those. Lift the leg straight up. Remember, our standing leg is bent right now. And down. Last one, lift the leg straight up and back down. Let's place our feet down. Shift your hips back. Be safe. And come up. Very good. Let's do that on the other side. Making a triangle with the blocks and your front foot. That's your left foot. You're going to bend your standing leg. Sorry, your right toes will be back. Find your blocks in a tripod shape. Push from your pelvis down through your thigh bone, down through the sole of your left foot. Make sure it feels stable. The knee is not bothered. Here we go. 3 leg lifts. Right leg straight up and down. Keep your arms straight. Leg up and down. Leg up and down. Good. Step it forward. Shift your hips back, nice and safe, to come up. All right, so now we're going to practice skydiver arms. So palms are facing this way, okay? And we pull our arms back and to protrude our heart forward. Okay, it's like we're skydiving. Remember, skydiver arms. So these upper back muscles tone to bring the chest forward. Okay, that's what you're going to work on. If you're going to do the level 2 with me, that's what you're going to incorporate. First side, right foot, push it down. Left foot, step it back. Hip, thigh, foot, integrated in the right leg. Pushing down, here we go. So you can just do the blocks again, or skydiver arms. So the heart is outward. Skydiver arms, here we go. Lift 1 and touch. 2 and touch. 3, and touch. Good. Shift your weight back. Step out of your pose. So this skydiver arms helps us tone our back body, integrating our muscles in the back. Here we go, second side. The left foot is in front, the right foot is back. Push your weight down from your hips to your thigh, into the sole of your left foot. Hands on blocks or skydiver arms, 3 leg lifts, my pace. 1, 2, 3. Good. Shift your weight back. Step out of your pose. All right, we're going to do our variation of Warrior 3 today. For the SI joint is to, in fact, keep both knees bent the whole time we're in our Warrior 3. Let's try it. So the, I don't know, one foot's in front. Let's do the right foot. Right foot's in front. Other foot's back. You're going to have both knees bent like a runner's sprint to start. You can put your hands on blocks today. You can do the skydiver arms, or you can do hands in prayer. You choose. I'm going to do the hands on blocks for my first round. Both knees are bent, so let's bend both knees. And lift that foot like you're stomping on the ceiling. Both knees are bent. If you want to take your hands away, you can. Breathe here. Chest is up, chest is out. Think that you're pushing onto the ceiling with that top foot. Pushing onto the ceiling. And step it back, step out of your pose. Good work. Got one more side, then we neutralize our hips. Second side. Here we go. Both knees are bent today. Okay, we've been working on that back leg quite a bit already in different versions. Open the chest. Let's bend and try to stomp on the ceiling, keeping both knees bent. Skydiver arms, you choose. Here we go. Breathe, Warrior 3. All of your focus, all of your attention, maintain that good alignment. And step it back, shift out of your pose. Good work. Feet can be separated, shoulders distance apart, and slightly turned out. Let's support our hips. And lift up. Turn the hands so the fingers point down the back, and you're supporting your hips. And just gently let the hips come forward so that you can send the weight down through the 4 corners of your feet. Breathe, friends. Good, let's bow out of our pose. Hands on our mat, downward facing dog. Come down to kneeling posture, or tabletop, sorry. Melt your spine. So it feels like you're lifting your tail and you're lifting your crown in harmony. Melting the spine, keeping the back muscles toned. Let's practice that 8-point pose again. 8-point pose, that's the toes, the knees, the hands, that's 6, then the chest and the chin, so the tush is in the sky. Inhale, cobra. Downward facing dog. Walk it forward and come on up. We're going to do our tree posture for balancing. And so if you want to use the wall, you can today, because we're going to focus on our alignment cues of the SI joints. So balancing is important, but it's more important to focus on the alignment than it is on balancing. You're going to take your left foot up into your tree variation. As always, different ranges. You're going to put your right hand on your hip and your left hand on your knee, or the one hand will be on the wall. But you need to keep awareness of the right hip to the left knee. The SI joint safety, or the healing action, is to press your feet, your left foot and your right leg against each other. Okay, so the foot and thigh push against each other. And then the knee and the hip draw back together. This will tone and protect the SI joint here. So the knee and the outer hip joint move back at the same rate. This is our tree pose. This is what we're focusing on as you breathe. Good focus. So let's bring the knee forward and then lower it down. Great long hold there. Good for you. Good for you. Press down through the left foot. You can use the wall with one hand. You're going to put the right foot against the thigh, the calf, doesn't matter. And we do two-pronged action. Okay? The first prong is that the foot and the thigh squeeze together, evenly squeezing. The second prong is that the left hip point and the right knee, that's the bent knee, move back at the same rate. It's definitely the more challenging side. I can feel that my standing leg does not engage in the same way that the first side was. You notice that that's the SI joint that gets thrown out for me. Oddly enough, interestingly enough. Focus your mind on the alignment action. And release. Good. Come down to kneeling pose with our knees together and our feet apart. When your knees are down now, turn your big toes in. So it's like the feet just start to turn in a little bit. The toes start to point towards each other. And slowly, you can put your hands on blocks or on the floor. You're going to sit back. Some of you will get your hips all the way to the ground. Wonderful. If you can get your hips to the ground, you're going to start to get your forehead to the ground. If your hips don't make it to the ground, stay up and just listen and sink and feel. Good. Let's come out of that pose. Go ahead and cross your right knee. Listen carefully. Cross your right knee behind your left knee. So your knees are stacked and your feet are across and turned out. Okay, so it's Gomukhasana is where we're going if you know it. Left knee's on top. You're going to sit back and you can sit on a prop or two to keep your hips level. Make sure you're sitting nice and high today so the low back can go into the body. Low back goes into the body. We're going to stay upright. Then you're going to take your arms out in a cactus shape. Cactus shape. So look with your eyeballs and make sure your elbow and your shoulder are the same height. And then look with your eyeballs to make sure your forearm is vertical. Squeeze your elbows and shoulders back to bring your spine forward. This will be our variation today. Breathe, full body breath like we've been doing all class. Beautiful. Rock yourself forward and change the knee that is on top. And then rock yourself back, second side. You sit high enough so that both sit bones have even body weight. I'm going to need the word both there. So the sit bones have even body weight. Yep, I don't need to say both there. Bring your arms up, field goal post arms or cow horn arms. And squeeze back with your shoulders and elbows to fold your spine forward and up, arching it forward and up. Breathe. Good. Relax. Rock forward. Cross your ankles and sit back. Seated posture. Rest your hands on the knees. And let your head get heavy. We'll start to down-regulate our nervous system. We're going to skip the chest breathing. You'll still breathe deep, but breathe only into your belly. Lift yourself back up and let's change which leg is in front. And go ahead and practice the same pose. You want to lift up nice and tall through our spine. Keep that tallness in our spine and just let the head be heavy. Breathe deep into the belly. Good. Let's go ahead and lie on our backs. Place your feet flat on the floor. Heel toe your feet wide, wider than your hips, wider than your shoulders. Let the knees fall together. So if your knees don't reach, then you bring your feet a little closer together. And if it's available, if your knees are touching, you bring your feet a little further apart. Relax your nervous system. Breathe into your deep belly. And just feel the effects of the pose. Good. Separate the knees and find your 2 yoga blocks. Or you could find like a bolster. And then bring the blocks so that they're touching. Walk your feet back to hips or shoulders distance apart. And then push the blocks so they're touching the back of your heels. Then go ahead and lift your feet and slide the blocks so that your feet, your heels, mostly your heels, the heels are the most important part. Your heels are now pushing on the blocks. They're standing on the blocks. I even think it's better if your toes are slightly lifted and not on the blocks. So you're just driving down with the heel, back edge of the heel. And press down with your heel. Let's lift up, bridge posture. And then come back down. Let's do that a couple times. Using the blocks for added leverage. Press down through the back of the heel, lift up. And down. Try not to let the knees separate too much when you rise. Here we go. Inhale, lift up. And down. Lift up. And down. Good. Bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees drop open. More advanced, you'll keep the feet, bring the blocks together, and have your feet on the blocks as you go into butterfly legs. If that hurts your hips, you can just remove the blocks and place your feet on the floor for butterfly legs. Let's go ahead and remove the blocks if you're using them and slide your legs out. Out, stretching both legs. Good. Give your body plenty of space. Shavasana, rest pose. Go ahead and start to stretch your body. And take a comfortable seat on your mat. Thank you. Thank you for practicing tonight. Namaste.